everyone, so welcome to RE-NEET. This is Krishna Sharma, your Krishna Ma'am, and I think you have gone through your first two classes of your newly launched RE-NEET crash course batch. Okay, so this will be your third class on your Zoology. Yes, your third class of your Zoology, and today we are going to discuss the PYQs and most expected questions from your chapter, that is breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, so this chapter is your this is from your 11th syllabus, right? And today we are going to discuss few questions and we will revise. We will also study some important concept, right? So make sure you watch this video till the end, like and share this video. Okay, so let's get started, right? First question, okay? First question, ki ase first question, so ki likha ase etu? The amount of air inspired or expired during your normal respiration is called. Okay, so answer ki hudise? The amount of air inspired or expired during one normal respiration. One normal respiration. Answer is your tidal volume. Okay, monot rakhiba, thik ase? Tidal volume is nothing but etu tumar ki hoy eta normal breathing, thik ase? Normal breathing ot tumar amount jiman tumalokor exchange hoy, thik ase? The amount of air exchange during your one normal breath, this is nothing but this is known as your tidal volume. Thik ase? Hobo aru eta bostu monot rakhiba, tidal volume tumalokor in a healthy adult normally tumalokor kiman thake etu tumalokor value to hoise 500 ml. Okay, so etu figure monot rakhiba, thik ase? These are important figures. Okay, ekere tumaloke memorize koribo lagibo, thik ase? Okay, then next question is your major transport form of carbon dioxide in blood is. So ki hudise yate carbon dioxide ami janu je in our blood carbon dioxide, your oxygen, both the type of gases are are circulated, isn't it? So কি হদিছে এটা তোমালোকক ফর্মটো হদিছে যে কি ফর্মত কার্বন ডাইঅক্সাইড ট্রাভেল কৰে ব্লাডত, কি ফর্মত কার্বন ডাইঅক্সাইড ট্রাভেল কৰে. So your answer will be your bicarbonate ions. So ayate of all the entire carbon dioxide molecule তোমালোকৰ 70% ঠিক আছে, 70% কি হয়, 70% তোমালোকে এইটো ফর্মত পাবা, ঠিক আছে, bicarbonate ionsৰ ফর্মত পাবা, and the rest 30% এইটো তোমালোকে কিতেবা dissolve পাবা, dissolve in blood পাবা, your কিতেবা নহলে এনুকা পাব পাৰা যে they are combining with your hemoglobin, right? They combine with hemoglobin and তেনেকে তেওঁলোকে তেনেকে কিছুমান তোমালোকৰ কাৰ্বন ডাইঅক্সাইড molecule transport হ'ব, right? So otherwise your majority 70% তোমালোকৰ কাৰ্বন ডাইঅক্সাইড কি ফর্মত হয়, কি ফর্মত তোমালোকৰ ট্রান্সপোর্ট হয়, bicarbonate ions. Again, this is very important. Okay, এটা তোমালোকৰ repeatedly সোধা হয়, ঠিক আছে, দেখিবা এতিয়া. সো এটো তোমালোকৰ NEET 2018 ত সোধা question আৰু দেখিবলৈ পাবা, চাবা এটো নহয় directly নহলেও but similar this question. Okay, next question, which respiratory disorder is characterized by your allergic reactions of bronchi and bronchioles? Okay, কি হদিছে এটো তোমালোকৰ এটা disorder বিষয় হদিছে, হয় না নাই? disorder to কেনেকুৱা হয়? This is characterized by your allergic reaction হয় না নাই? allergic reaction হয়, কিহৰ হয় allergic reaction? Mainly your bronchi and your bronchioles. Okay, কি হয় bronchi and bronchioles? These are your conducting part of your respiratory system, isn't it? These are your conducting part, isn't it? কোনটো condition দেখিবলৈ পাবা এটো allergic reaction তোমাৰ specifically to the conducting part? Answer will be your asthma. Okay, so asthma we all know, right? Asthmatic patients ami janu je asthma hole ki hoy, the person experiences difficulty in breathing, right? Kyo hoy janane? Because এই যে তোমালোকৰ conducting into part থাকে bronchi and bronchioles, এই conducting part কি হয়, it gets inflamed. Okay, it gets inflamed and it gets narrower. That is the reason why the person experiences your difficulty in breathing, along with wheezing ও হ'ব পাৰে, ঠিক আছে, difficulty in breathing, and along with the difficulty in breathing the person might also experience your wheezing, right? These are nothing but these are your allergic reactions, and this condition, okay, conditions like your asthma, these are triggered by your allergens. Okay, these are triggered by your allergens, right? Hobo? Okay, next question, The oxygen dissociation curve of hemoglobin is okay to ki hodise tomalokok curve to bikha hodise hone nai the oxygen dissociation curve to kotha hodise shape to kotha hodise mini tomalokor so options so is it hyperbolic is it linear is it sigmoid or your circular okay so ete tomalokok shape to hodise answer option C sigmoid thik ase the oxygen dissociation curve of hemoglobin is sigmoid why sigmoid sigmoid kyo hoy sigmoid etu karone hoy because swa hemoglobin shows your hemoglobin a hemoglobin molecule to ki show kore cooperative binding show kore okay cooperative binding show kore hoy na nai tar mane ki hoy when one hemoglobin molecule okay or you can say one oxygen and hemoglobin molecule they combine then the affinity okay then the affinity for the next oxygen molecule will increase okay then the affinity for the next oxygen molecule will increase and this goes on increasing right hetu karone ami curve to ki pao curve to amar sigmoid curve hoy bujila okay all right then to ki hodise the respiratory center is located in acha ki hodise etu tumalokor respiratory center or site to hodise site to site mane hetu ko na jo tumalokor exchange of gases or hetu ko na but the control center amar we know that respiration this is a type of your kenuka activity hoy is it voluntary or involuntary monot korason voluntary involuntary ki asile tumaloke janai baru still মই এবাৰ কৈ দিছো যে involuntary actions or involuntary activities these are those activities that cannot be controlled directly by ourselves right আমি directly control কৰিব নোৱাৰো so respiration is one of them right so control center ক'ত আছে এটা তোমালোকৰ control center কোনটো হ'ব cerebrum হ'ব নে medulla oblongata cerebellum হ'ব নে hypothalamus হ'ব so these are your parts of your brain right okay these are different parts of your brain answer will be your medulla oblongata okay medulla oblongata this is the respiratory center of your ki hoy or you can say simply the respiratory control center okay and this is a part of your hindbrain okay medulla oblongata this is a part of your hindbrain okay etia respiratory center kyo koa hoy medulla oblongata kyo koa hoy reason because it controls and generates the rhythm of respiration okay medulla oblongata this controls and generates the rhythm of your respiration and yate logote along with medulla oblongata pons okay pons again this is a part of your hindbrain pons is also a part of your hindbrain so pons also this is also responsible for modifying the rhythm of your breathing okay rhythm of your breathing or you can say not breathing actually like for respiration so medulla oblongata and your pons both okay these two both these parts these are your known as your respiratory center clear okay tar pisot swa ki hodise yate acha residual volume of lungs kiman hoy residual volume kiman hoy this is your 1100 ml okay so again this is very important okay residual volume is important etu figure to monot rakha to khube important 500 ml ki asile etu tumalokor tidal volume asile hone nai tidal volume mane ki hoy tidal volume this is nothing but this is the amount of air exchanged during normal breathing right residual volume mane ki buja see residual volume this is the amount of air left in your lungs even after your forceful expiration okay forceful expiration or pisoto tumalokor lungs or jonkhini air molecules these are left over ঠিক আছে this amount of air is nothing but this is known as your residual volume and students residual volume is very very much important because it prevents your lung collapse okay it prevents your lung collapse so residual volume is very important for our what for our respiratory system hone nai okay ei figure to monot rakhiba thik ase this is your 1100 ml okay then next question swa ki ase inspiration occurs when your intrapulmonary pressure is okay কি হইছে এতিয়া inspiration মানে কি হয় inhalation yes inspiration means inhalation taking in of okay taking in of oxygen right hone nai inspiration মানে taking in of oxygen through our nostrils right কি হইছে ইয়াতে inspiration occurs when your intrapulmonary pressure is intrapulmonary pressure মানে within your lungs right within your lungs কি হবো তার মানে মেইনলি কি হইছে alveoli কথা হইছে হয়নে না alveoli ultimately তোমালোকৰ exchange হয় yes ultimately তোমার exchange site তোমালোকৰ কি হয় alveoli হয় isn't it তাৰ হেতৰ ওপৰত আমি কোৱেশ্চনস কৰিম কিন্তু সোয়াতে বুজিবলৈ ট্রাই কৰা কি হইছে যে যোনটো তোমালোকৰ exchange site to হয় ঠিক আছে exchange site তোমালোকৰ pressure gradient to হইছে pressure gradient কেনেকুৱা হ'ব লাগিব কোনটো সিচুৱেচনত তোমালোকৰ inspiration to হ'ব answer hobo tumalokor it is less than your atmospheric pressure when intrapulmonary pressure is less than your atmospheric pressure because kyo etu situation hole he tumalokor inspiration hobo why it has to be less than the atmospheric pressure because we know that air moves from a region of higher pressure to a region of lower pressure isn't it hoine etu janu ami etuke ki koru tumalokor diffusion boli koy hoine nai diffusion koy na nai and we also know that exchange of gases inside our lungs that means inside you can say between your alveoli it takes place through simple diffusion yes okay so hetu karone yate tumalokor correct answer hobo when your intrapulmonary pressure is less than your atmospheric pressure okay ekdom tumaloke eko ebo tough concept nohoy bahut basic concept hoy bahut simple concept hoy just tumaloke revision koriba repeatedly revision koriba hoyne nai তেতিয়া হে পাৰিবা নহলে এইটো সিম্পল কোৱেশ্চন তোমালোকে ফুল কৰি আহিবা এক্সামত হয়নে ওকে দেন ওকে কোৱেশ্চন নেক্সট কোৱেশ্চন কি হদিছে সোৱা which of the following is the actual site of your gaseous exchange okay so অকমান আগৰ আমি ডিসকাস কৰিলো হয়নে জাস্ট আমি ডিসকাস কৰিলো যে actual site of your gaseous exchange it takes place where it takes place in your alveoli isn't it alveoli and there are millions of alveoli inside your lungs okay the alveoli these are nothing but these are your air sac okay these are your air sac te kyo hoy why the gaseous exchange take place only in your alveoli why mainly because of two factors because first one is your thin walls okay presence of thin walls in alveoli okay yes so thin walls facilitate the easily or you can say facilitate the easy diffusion of gases okay second one is your alveoli the walls of alveoli these are rich in blood supply okay rich in blood supply so together both this factor facilitate the exchange of gases in your alveoli bujila okay কি হইছে exchange of gases in alveoli occurs mainly by okay কি হয় process to কেনেকুৱা হয় কোনটো process তোমালোকৰ gases exchange হয় তোমালোকৰ alveoli this diffusion right this diffusion আমি চালো নহয় intrapulmonary pressure কি হ'ব লাগে it should be less than your atmospheric pressure because we know that diffusion কেনেকুৱা process হয় diffusion is a process where your air moves from a region of your higher pressure to a region of your lower pressure yes so that diffusion simple diffusion okay there is no energy required diffusion is the simple process through which your exchange of gases take place in alveoli got it okay next Bohr effect okay Bohr effect এতিয়া Bohr effect এর বিষয় হদিছে কি হয় Bohr effect Bohr effect কি হয় it is related to is it your carbon dioxide affecting oxygen dissociation or is it your oxygen affecting your carbon dioxide transport ne nitrogen transport ne tumalokor pulmonary pressure hoy answer will be Bohr effect is related to your carbon dioxide affecting oxygen dissociation okay tar mane ki hoise soa ki koise carbon dioxide saturation tumalokor oxygen binding it will determine the oxygen binding okay so if the saturation of carbon dioxide is higher then what happens ki hobo তোমাৰ ব্লাডত carboxyhemoglobin বা carbaminohemoglobin এইকেইটা কম্পাউণ্ড বেছিকৈ ফৰ্ম হ'ব and oxygen will find it very difficult to bind with hemoglobin, isn't it? Okay? So এইটো তোমালোকক কৈছে কাৰ্বন ডাই অক্সাইড তোমালোকৰ স্যাচুৰেশন বেছি হলে কি হ'ব oxygen binding affinity কমি যাব ব্লাডত yes simple then the volume of air remaining in lungs after your forceful expiration is okay the volume of air remaining in lungs after forceful expiration is now eketa swa option keta swa ARV, TV, RV, VC কি হয় এটা সব তোমালোকক শর্ট ফর্মত দিয়া আছে হয়নে নাই অপশনত তোমালোকে সোয়া এটো নিট 2020 পেপার হয় হয়নে তোমালোকে এনেকুৱাই পাবা ফুল তোমালোকৰ ফুল ফর্মত তোমালোকে একেটা টার্মস বোৰ নপুৱা সো জানিব লাগিব হয়নে নাই ARV কি হয় ARV তোমালোকৰ এক্সপিৰেটৰি ৰেসিডুয়াল ভলিউম হয় হয়নে নাই এক্সপিৰেটৰি ৰেসিডুয়াল ভলিউম হয় TV কি হয় টাইডাল ভলিউম হয় RV কি হয় ৰেসিডুয়াল ভলিউম হয় V কি হয় ভাইটাল ক্যাপাসিটি হয় না V মানে ভাইটাল ক্যাপাসিটি RV is your residual volume TV tidal volume ERV expiratory reserve volume yes answer কি হ'ব ইয়াতে answer what is the volume of question what is the volume of air remaining in lungs after your forceful expiration so your answer is your residual volume অকমান আগত মই বুজাইছো হয় না নাই no just a few minutes back I have explained that residual volume this is the amount of air left in your lungs okay or that remains in your lungs after your forceful expiration and this residual volume this is very much important for for preventing your collapsing of lungs okay for preventing your collapsing of lungs okay clear aru etu kiman asile what is the figure kiman hoy amount it is your 1100 ml okay কমান আগত কৰিছো সোৱা again তোমালোক আহিল নে নাই question হয় না মই কৈছিলো নাই these are few repeated NEET concept okay these are few repeated NEET concept তোমালোকে repetition দেখিবলৈ পাবা কেনেকৈ হৰিছে দেখিছা সোৱা হেতু তোমালোক কি হৰিছে হেতু তোমালোক সেই question তোমালোক reserve volume residual volume ৰে কি হৰিছিলে value টো হৰিছিলে হয় না ইয়াতে কি হৰিছে ইয়াতে হৰিছে তোমালোক যে জানা নে নাই residual volume exactly হয় কি হেতু টেস্ট কৰিছে ইয়াতে হয় না নাই দেখিছা question কেনেকৈ হৰিব পাৰে episode okay which of the following is not a function of conducting part of respiratory system okay function dia ase tumaloko yate side function and you have to choose which of the option is not a function of your conducting part ki hoy respiratory system or amar conducting part ki hoy it is your bronchi okay it is your bronchi and your bronchioles hoy na nai bronchi and your bronchioles yes so these are your conducting part and ede ki ase soason option c soason gas exchange ami okoman agot ki salu je the actual site of your gaseous exchange is your alveoli hoy na nai so this will be the correct answer that means gaseous exchange does not take place in your bronchi and bronchioles or vice versa that bronchi and bronchioles do not take part in gaseous exchange tar mane ki hobo baki tinta option function hobo yare hone baki tinta option yare function hobo that means you can say that the function of your conducting part includes humidification of air okay warming of air and also your removal of particles tar mane removal of particles mane ki hoy filtration of air right filtration of air so these are the three functions of your conducting part it is your bronchi and bronchioles yes done then next lungs do not collapse after your forceful expiration because of so question to keneke hodise same year ot hua paper hoine same year 2020 what tumalokor paper etu swa questions keneke tumalok khudhe so again 2020 hoine etu NEET 2020 hoy thik ase etu mention kora actually no hol to NEET hoy thik ase all the questions okay tumalok yate year to mention ase all these questions are your PYQs of your NEET exam okay beleg exam or no hoy kintu mane beleg medical exam or no hoy hetu koisu aru so সেই পেপাৰতে তোমাৰ সেম পেপাৰত কি সুধিছিলে अगेन তোমালোকৰ ৰেচিডুৱেল ভলিউমৰ কথা সুধিছিলে হয় না টেষ্ট কৰিছিলে ইয়াতে যে তোমালোকে জানা নে নাই ৰেচিডুৱেল ভলিউমটো কি হয় এক্স্যাক্টলি ইয়েস আকৌ চোৱা সেইটো পেপাৰতে আকৌ সেম বস্তু হয়নে নাই সেম বস্তু হয়নে নাই জাস্ট ডিফারেন্ট ওয়েট সুধিছে ডিফারেন্ট ওয়েট সুধিছে ইয়াতে কি সুধিছে ইয়াতে তোমালোকক কৈ দিছে যে lungs do not collapse after your forceful expiration because of your residual volume. This is the amount of air, okay? This is the amount of air left in your lungs after your forceful expiration, okay? Then, the percentage saturation of your hemoglobin with oxygen in arterial blood is about. Acha, yate ki hodise saturation hodise hone nai. Percentage saturation etu tumalokor 97% hoy, thik ase? 97%. So, again, manot rakhiba, these are, important neat facts and figures you have to memorize. Because second to memorize koribo lagibo hoine nai okay arterial blood thik ase arterial blood arteries we all know that arteries carry your pure blood or you can say oxygenated blood isn't it so that is the reason why you will find in case of arterial blood you will find 97% of your oxygens 97% of your yes saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen hoine nai clear but in case of venous blood say in case of venous blood tar mane ki hoy vein right because we know that veins carry okay except one that is except your pulmonary vein all the other vein they carry your deoxygenated blood isn't it so venous blood tumaloke saturation to khube kom dekhibole paba exact percentage bar nalage etu janibole in case of venous blood that just monot rakhiba je in case of a venous blood the percentage saturation of your hemoglobin with oxygen is very much less okay it's is very much less compared to your arterial blood okay right then carbon dioxide combines with hemoglobin to form key form of combine hoy carbon dioxide molecule combines with your hemoglobin to form kuntu compound form koribo yare is it your oxyhemoglobin it is your or is it your carbaminohemoglobin or is it your carboxyhemoglobin ne reduced hemoglobin hoy ki form koribo option B that is carbaminohemoglobin form koribo hoine nai carbon dioxide so students here tumaloke confuse no koriba with this okay with this term that is your carboxyhemoglobin because carboxyhemoglobin is formed when your carbon monoxide okay carbon monoxide not carbon dioxide okay carbon monoxide your combines with your hemoglobin thik ase formula ki hoy chemical formula carbon monoxide etu hoine nai CO hoine nai carbon dioxide hoy tumar ki hoy CO2 yes so when carbon monoxide combines with your hemoglobin it forms your carboxyhemoglobin on the other hand carbon dioxide forms your carbaminohemoglobin and students see this compound that is carboxyhemoglobin okay this compound is very much injurious okay it can be in fact fatal for your human life okay carboxyhemoglobin is a very dangerous compound and it can lead to fatality of the person if not treated immediately okay all right then which factor shifts oxygen dissociation curve towards the right okay which factor shifts oxygen dissociation curve towards the right so ata ki hodise yate factor hodise hone nai oxygen dissociation curve towards the right mane ki bujay so sete tumalokor this curve okay this curve will move towards the right it means that the affinity of the oxygen the affinity of oxygen binding with the hemoglobin it increases tar mane simple ki kobo para je the binding capacity of oxygen with hemoglobin will increase right will increase etia kuntu factor yate tumalokor he contribute koribo kuntu factor it will be your increased temperature okay it will be your increased temperature mon rakhiba etu hobo thik ase decrease hydrogen concentration nohoy etu sam ame episode nokomo etia decrease carbon dioxide 1 second just a second okay okay so next The site of respiratory rhythm regulation is site to hodise eto oman agot chalu hone nai tumalokor pons and medulla hoy pons and medulla yes these are your part of your hindbrain right okay the normal tidal volume of a healthy adult human is approximately acha volume te hodise hoy ne মই তোমালোকক ফার্স্ট কোশ্চেনতে কৈ দিছো যে টাইডাল ভলিউম রিমেম্বার টাইডাল ভলিউম কিমান হয় 500 ml হয় হয়নে 500 ml ওকে এটো কি হদিছে functional residual capacity is okay এটো তোমালোকৰ আনসারটো অলরেডি দিয়া আছে হয়নে আনসারটো অলরেডি বাই মিস্টেক প্রিন্ট হইছে ইয়াতে সো কি হয় তোমালোকৰ formula hodise hone na formula to hodise formula asana na functional residual capacity right functional residual capacity ki hoy tumalokor it will be your kunto hobo answer option b hobo that is your expiratory reserve volume okay reserve volume plus your residual volume so a to hoise tumalokor thik ase a to hoise tumalokor formula okay ঠিক আছে মনত থাকিব এটো এটো মনত থাকিব ওকে এতিয়া সো এটো বড় ফর্মুলা হয় এটো তোমালোকক খুদিছে ফর্মুলাটো খুদিছে হয়নে নাই yes কিন্তু what exactly is functional residual capacity ইয়ার মানে কি বুঝা functional residual capacity is nothing but this is the air remaining in your lungs after your normal expiration ki hoy this is the air remaining in your lungs after your normal expiration okay residual volume logot relate korason ki asile residual volume this was the air remaining in your remaining in your lungs after your forceful expiration hoine so monot rakhiba yare tumalokor normal expiration and in case of your residual volume this is your forceful expiration hobo etoi hoy difference thik ase okay again tumalokor yate oh this answer is already given anyways leave it ignore thik ase ignore kora etu ki hodise etia yate vital capacity okay vital capacity is equal to thik ase vital capacity tar mane vc okay in short it is written as your vc this is equal to your tidal volume okay ঠিক আছে tidal volume plus your inspiratory reserve volume and plus your expiratory reserve volume okay so this is the correct answer okay correct answer ঠিক আছে কোনটো হবো এইটো হবো this will be the correct answer ঠিক আছে so এই কেটা কিছুমান in case of your this chapter okay breathing and exchange of gases you have to remember certain facts and figures along with that you also have to remember certain formulae okay certain formulae belek baba aru e tumaloke protito termor thik ase vc mane that is what vital capacity mane ki hoy tidal volume mane ki hoy residual volume mane ki hoy then okoman agot ki selo functional residual capacity ki hoy ei gote khini tumaloke kintu bhalke clear hobo lagibo meaning ki hoy bostu to ki bujai ase hobo thik ase okay so okay every 100 ml of your oxygenated blood can deliver approximately how much oxygen to tissues okay this is again a factual question right you have to remember this important fact okay 100 ml oxygenated blood tumaloke kiman or you can say kiman teoloke oxygen deliver koribo pare tissues answer is your 5 ml okay thik ase important okay remember this ei figure monot rakhiba 100 ml kiman paba tumaloke 5 ml of oxygen paba thik ase but remember 100 ml of your oxygenated blood not deoxygenated blood okay thik ase then normal inspiratory reserve volume in human is acha eto question answer to ki hobo normal inspiratory reserve volume in human is what is the answer কি হ'ব answer to? So your answer will be option C, okay? 2500 to your 3000 ml, okay? This is your normal inspiratory reserve volume in human. So yet is it a human who say, okay? They have not specified a gender, okay? So your answer comes in this category, okay? That is your 2500 to your 3000 ml. Kintu, you know, again this volume varies in your both your male and female. It tumalokor different hoy figures to. ঠিক আছে এখিনি চাই লবা ঠিক আছে figures different হয় which respiratory pigment is present in human blood this is very simple question this is your hemoglobin okay hemoglobin this is the oxygen carrying pigment or you can say respiratory pigment present in our blood okay and because of this pigment our blood is red in color okay it is denoted by your HB and it contains iron. Hemoglobin contains your iron. Yes. Isn't it? Okay. Exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between your blood and tissues occurs due to. Okay. এতিয়া কি হদিছে exchange to juntu amar hoy thik ase exchange of gases juntu amar hoy between your blood and tissues হেইটো actually okay হেইটো actually কিহৰ কাৰণে হয় তাৰ মানে কি হদিছে process-টো হদিছে তেওলকে হয়নে নাই they are asking you about the process okay what is the process of exchange of gases in our blood okay or you can say between our blood and tissues কি হয় it is your diffusion হয়নে নাই it is your diffusion no energy is required okay no energy is required the gases or you can say the exchange of gases occurs by simple diffusion that means and since diffusion this is we know that this is based on pressure gradient so air is going to move from a region of your higher pressure to a region of your lower pressure simple okay then partial pressure of oxygen in alveoli is approximately kiman hoy partial pressure because who dise value to who dise again this are very factual question this you have to remember the figure so your answer is your D 104 millimeter of your mercury okay all right so 104 millimeter of your mercury so this is the correct answer then again lungs do not collapse between your breaths okay because of acha এটা কি হদিছে again তোমালোকৰ সো হেতু কনসেপ্টে হদিছে হনে নাই residual volume in case of your residual volume আমি কি পাইছিলো যে this is the amount of air it remains in the lungs after your forceful expiration and this volume of air is very much essential because it prevents the collapsing of lungs okay so residual volume was one of the factor another factor ki hoy that prevents your collapsing of lungs another factor is your intrapleural pressure okay another factor is your intrapleural pressure okay so what is intrapleural pressure this is the pressure pleura mane jana no pleura ki hoy ma bujaiso মই তোমালোকক previous class ote bujaiso etu তোমালোকৰ circulation chapter ত bujaiso pleura this is nothing but this is the membrane of the lungs right this is the membrane to duta membrane thake eta tumalokor visceral and parietal pleura and the space between these two membrane is known as a pleural cavity isn't it হেতু হদিছে tumalokor he intrapleural pressure হদিছে ঠিক আছে between the membranes যোনটো pressure থাকে hey pressure so this factor is your another important factor that is responsible for prevention of the collapsing of lungs okay now exactly keneke yote mane exactly intrapleural pressure tumalage keneke control kore collapsing of lungs this is your negative intrapleural pressure okay answer will be your negative mane ki hoy the pressure in your pleura okay the pressure in your pleura will be lower than your atmospheric pressure okay it will be lower than your atmospheric pressure thus it helps the the lungs to remain expanded okay it helps the lungs to remain expanded thus preventing it collapsing okay thus preventing its collapsing okay so again this is very important okay very important eto tomar pleural pressure hok ba tumalokor residual volume ko dhori lua both these concepts are very important okay these are some repeated questions so ami kimanta pallo hane 23 hodise eto questions ওকে 22 সুধিছে কিমান বাৰ পালো আমি সেম বস্তুটো বাট তোমালোকক ডাইৰেক্টলি সোধা নাই ন ডিফাৰেন্ট ফৰ্মত সুধিছে কিন্তু কনসেপ্টটো এটাই হয় হয়নে কনসেপ্টটো এটাই হয় তোমালোকৰ সো হেয়াই questions বোৰ তোমালোকে কেনেকৈ এপ্ৰোচ কৰিবা বা কি টাইপ অফ questions তোমালোকে কনসেপ্টৰ পৰা কেনেকৈ কোৱেশ্চনটো সুধিব পাৰে বুজিলা নহয় ওকে সোৱা তাৰ পিছত কি সুধিছে the respiratory rhythm center is mainly present in okay so see again 2024 NEET question right again the same question the respiratory control center that is your medulla oblongata and also your pons isn't it your pons yes these both are your part of your hindbrain isn't it then next question the chronic disorder in which alveolar valves are damaged NEET 2024 question hoy thik ase ki hodise etu again tumalokor eta disorder hoy disorder to bikhoy hodise jot ki hoy tumalokor alveolar valves are damaged isn't it alveolar valves are damaged so ki hobo so we know that alveolar valves these are the site of your these are the site of your exchange of gases isn't it and why are they able to facilitate the exchange of gases because they have very thin walls yes or you can say surface area they have enough surface area since these are tiny air sac okay they have enough of surface area if the alveolar walls are damaged then what is going to happen the surface area is going to reduce yes it is going to reduce thus it will lead to your decreased exchange of gases tar mane ki hobo breathing difficulty hobo hoy na nai etia কোনটো হ'ব ইয়াৰে answer will be your emphysema okay emphysema এনেকে মনত ৰাখিবা emphysema মানে empty air sac okay a trick short trick emphysema means your empty air sac see emphysema this is caused by your mainly your smoking okay mainly smoking okay or smoking কি কৰে smoking damages the damages the alveolar walls isn't it smoking damages the alveolar walls so see the cause of emphysema is your smoking okay one of the leading cause of emphysema this condition okay in where your alveolar walls get damaged okay and the person experiences chest tightness difficulty in breathing ei gute gete tumaloke symptom dekhibole paba the cause is your smoking okay this is the major cause okay of your emphysema because smoke tumaloke ki thake nicotine thake it damages the alveolar walls okay alveolar wall tumaloke damage korar mane damage hoy smoking ot thus leading to emphysema so here the correct answer is your emphysema asthma ami salu already asthma ki hoy asthma this is your allergic reaction so tumalakor the conducting part okay conducting part tumalakor bronchi and bronchioles they get inflamed due to infection aru infection to ki trigger kore tumalakor allergens trigger kore hoy na nai baki tuberculosis and pneumonia ami pohim etia na lage thik ase not now tar pisot ki hodise the major percentage of carbon dioxide is transported in blood as 2025 question see the major percentage of carbon dioxide again ki hobo bicarbonate ions hoy na ki koisilu moi 70% boli koisilu na nai 70% of your carbon dioxide this is transported in the form of your bicarbonate ions in blood yes okay again repeated question or you can say not repeated question but repeated concept isn't it so again so now you have to arrange the following in correct sequence during respiration tumalok steps keta diya ase so these are the various steps right of your respiration you have to arrange okay you have to arrange in the proper logical order so ki hobo first tumalokor ventilation hobo na nai ventilation is nothing but breathing in of air hoy na first you will breathe in air pulmonary ventilation hobo tar pisot ki hobo tar pisot tumalokor hobo diffusion across alveolar membrane diffusion hobo in your lungs okay diffusion hobo in your lungs yes okay tar pisot ki hobo so solve kora transport tar pisot ki hobo so once diffusion has occurred, it means once exchange of gases has taken place, then it will be transported by blood. Yes, the gases, it will be transported by blood. Okay, tar pisot ki hobo transportation or pisot ki hobo ako so blood loi gol hone nai, the blood will take it will transport the different gases, then it will finally take the nutrient rich blood to the various cells and tissues. Tate ki hobo between between blood and tissues exchange will occur. How? Exchange will occur through diffusion again, so this will be a fourth step. Okay, finally there will be your cellular respiration. That means all the cells, they will undergo respiration. That means they are going to release energy. They are going to release energy in the form of ATP molecules, and finally they are going to release the waste products that are being produced during your respiration, again back to the bloodstream. Hoine? So this is the correct sequence. Hoine? Answer will be your option A. Correct sequence to tumalogor dia ase, actually question to already dia ase. Hoine? Okay, so ebar sai lo etu bostu, again this is important. Okay, etu bahut important hoy, bahut tumaloke student usually kheli meli kore ate confuse hoy again steps or mazot. First is your pulmonary ventilation. Our ventilation is nothing but this is the breathing in of air. Okay, this is the normal breathing in of air. Tar pisot ki hobo tumalogor air to gol amar langsot ki hobo, langsot tumalogor diffusion hobo, exchange hobo between alveolar membrane. Yes, hol. Tar pisot ki hol bloodot tumaloke heikini bloodot jabo hei bostu kini. That means what? কি বস্তু কথা কৈছো মই, অক্সিজেন হনে নাই, অক্সিজেন তোমালোকৰ ডিফিউজ পিছত এলভিঅলৰ পৰা ব্লাডত গল, তাতে কি কৰিব এতিয়া, সো ট্ৰান্সপোর্ট অফ গ্যাসেস বাই ব্লাড। ইয়েস, তাৰপিছত ব্লাডে তোমালোকৰ লৈ যাব সেই গ্যাস খিনি, তাৰ মানে অক্সিজেন লৈ যাব, মেইনলি অক্সিজেনতে ব্লাড যাব, অক্সিজেনতে ব্লাড তোমাৰ ক'ত যায়, ইট উইল গো টু অল দ্য সেলস এন্ড অর্গানস অফ ইয়োর বডি, রাইট। তাত কি হ'ব, তাত এগেইন ডিফিউজন হয়, ডিফিউজনৰ পৰা বাই থ্ৰু ডিফিউজন কি হ'ব, তাতেও তোমালোকৰ এক্সচেঞ্জ হ'ব বিটুইন ইয়োর ব্লাড এন্ড টিস্যুজ। ফাইনালি cellular respiration will take place. It means all the cells, all the different organs of your body, they will finally undergo respiration. That means they are going to release energy in the form of ATP molecule and finally discard the waste products generated during this respiration back to your bloodstream. তাৰপিছত আকৌ ব্লাডে তোমালোক লৈ আহিব, ক'ত লৈ আহিব, লাংছত লৈ আহিব পিউৰিফিকেশ্যনৰ কাৰণে, হয় নে নাই। লাংছে আকৌ কি কৰিব, এক্সপায়াৰ কৰিব। This is the entire process, isn't it? This is the entire process of your respiration. In short, okay, briefly, okay, which structure directly participates in gaseous exchange in humans? Okay, this is alveoli. Time waste nokoru ame poriso ekhini. Tar pisot diffusion membrane in lungs is extremely thin, mainly kya alveolar walls, these are thin, okay, in order to facilitate diffusion. Yes, facilitate rapid diffusion of gases. During inspiration, the diaphragm ki hobo, during inspiration your diaphragm lies below your lungs. Eta muscular organ thake, hoine nai, it contracts and flattens, hoine nai. Yes, contracts flattens, hoine eneke thake, and thus this this technique of rhythmic contraction and flattening of the diaphragm, it helps us to take in air and exhale out your carbon dioxide. Yes, okay. Next, which of the following lung capacities includes your residual volume? Which of the following lung capacities includes your residual volume? Is it your inspiratory capacity? Is it your vital capacity? Or is it your functional residual capacity? Or is it your tidal volume? So, মই কৈছিলো নহয়, these are few terms. এই term তোমালোকে short form জানিব লাগিব। কি বুলি কয়, এটো যেনেকে তোমাৰ tidal volume বুলি কয়, এটো তোমালোকৰ VC বুলি লিখে। তাৰপিছত এটো কি হ'ব, এটো একচুয়ালি এনেকে লিখে, ঠিক আছে। এটো কি হয়, FRC, হয় নে নাই, FRC। সো এইখিনি জানিব লাগিব, লগতে মিনিং জানিব লাগিব যে এক্স্যাক্টলি কি হয়, এন্ড লগতে ফৰ্মুলা জানিব লাগিব, হয় নে। ইকুৱেশ্যন, ইয়েস, ইকুৱেশ্যন হিচাপত আমি লিখিলো, হয় নে নাই অকমান আগত। সো আনসার উইল বি ইয়োর ফাংশনাল রেসিডুয়াল ক্যাপাসিটি, ঠিক আছে। ফাংশনাল রেসিডুয়াল ক্যাপাসিটি তোমালোকৰ কি বাবা, residual volume থাকে, হয় নাই। functional residual capacity, this is what, this is nothing but this is the air remaining in your lungs after normal expiration. Yes, functional residual capacity, this is the air remaining in your lungs after your normal expiration. This was your answer. Then কি হৈছে আকৌ, the normal respiratory rate in a healthy adult at rest is approximately কিমান হয়, Again, this is your factual question. This you have to know. Jeneke ami heart rate ami hokoloi janu, it is, it is 72 beats per minute, or you can say between your range 70 to 75, 72 to 75 beats per minute. In this case, okay, in case of what? Respiratory rate, the answer is your 12 to 16 breaths per minute. Answer is your 12 to 16 breaths per minute. So, monot rakhiba eto, thik ase? Eto monot rakhiba. The major stimulus for respiration in human is, okay, the major stimulus for respiration in human is, ki hoy? Stimulus, sorry. So, major stimulus hobo tomar increase in carbon dioxide concentration. Ami saisilu nohoy, tomar hey ki buli koy etu oxygen, yes, oxygen dissociation curve tumalokor carbon dioxide saturation keneke tumalokor effect kore. Okay, keneke effect kore? Carbon dioxide tumalokor bahile ki hobo? Bahile tumalokor oxygen binding capacity of hemoglobin komi jay, hoine? So ultimately major stimulus for respiration tumalokor increase in carbon dioxide concentration hoy, hoine nai? Yes, not monoxide. So again etu bhul nokoriba. So ete ki likha ase? Confuse koribole dia ase etu bostu. Carbon monoxide nohoy ha, etu tumalokor carbon dioxide hobo, thik ase? It's always a carbon dioxide. And remember, what is the compound formed when carbon dioxide, combines with hemoglobin? Ki buli koy? Carbaminohemoglobin. Yes, okay, it is carbaminohemoglobin, not carboxyhemoglobin. Ako moi tumalokok repeat koriso. Carboxyhemoglobin, this is the compound formed when your carbon monoxide binds with your hemoglobin. Okay? Then, most of the carbon dioxide is transported in blood. As again, this question is repeated. So, bicarbonate ions. The oxygen dissociation curve shifts to the right during, okay, shifts to the right. So, eto okoman agot pohisile hoine nai, the oxygen dissociation curve, various factors were written. Enuka eta similar question eta paisu ami, hoine? Similar question eta paisu, ki asile tate tumar? Jetia etu curve, thik ase, oxygen dissociation curve jetia tumalokor right shift hoy mane ki bujay je oxygen is readily available to the tissues, hoine? Or you can say it is easily unloaded in the tissues. Ji buja mane oxygen tumalokor readily available ase, etu bujiba bas. Right side tumalokor shift hoise mane it is readily available. And several factors such as your increase in temperature, then your low pH, tar mane ki low pH mane ki hobo? Acidic condition. Acidic condition mane ki hoy? Increase higher concentration, increase hydrogen concentration, or you can say hydronium ions concentration. This will shift the oxygen dissociation curve towards the right. Okay? So tomar high no low pH hobo. High pH nokore, thik ase? Low temperature nokore, high temperature koribo. Again, this will be your low carbon dioxide concentration nokore, high koribo, thik ase? High carbon dioxide concentration koribo. Okay, which respiratory volume can be measured using a spirometer? Spirometer ki hoy? This is your answer ki hobo? So with the help of using with the help of a spirometer, this is an instrument. Okay, this instrument is used for measuring your tidal volume. Thik ase? Etu instrument tumaloke use kori kine tidal volume measure koribo para. Thik ase? Kintu baki tumalok residual volume hoilok, thik ase, functional residual capacity, that is FRC, ba total lung capacity, eibu tumalok measure koribo nwara. These are not measurable with the help of this instrument, spirometer. Okay, remember? Thik ase? Then the pressure inside your pleural cavity is normally, the pressure inside your pleural cavity is normally ki thake? Intrapleural pressure ki thake etu? It is always negative, isn't it? Negative to atmospheric pressure. Tar mane ki hoy? Inside your pleural cavity, the pressure is lesser than that your atmospheric pressure, isn't it? Okay. Which of the following has the highest affinity for hemoglobin? Okay. Ki dia ase tumalok? Compound dia ase. Khudise ki tumalok? Which of the following has the highest affinity? Tar mane ki koise je which of this compound readily, okay, or you can say how fast and the compound is able to bind with your hemoglobin. Speed to this mainly. Ki hoy jana yate? Answer is your carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide, this is around 200 to 250 times, okay? It shows, carbon monoxide shows 200 to 250 times higher affinity for your hemoglobin. দেখিছা হেতু কাৰণে মই যে কৈছিলো যে the compound formed, okay, the compound formed when your carbon monoxide binds with your hemoglobin, that is your carboxy hemoglobin. This is very injurious and it can be in fact fatal for human life, okay? It can be fatal for human life because reason to swear reason আমি এটো পাই গলো. It is, it shows 200 to 250 times greater affinity for hemoglobin as compared to your oxygen. হয়নে নাই? As compared to your oxygen. Okay? So, ito মনত ৰাখিবা. Okay, then 42. Okay, next question. কি হয় চোৱা? The volume of air that can be forcibly exhaled after normal expiration is. কি হয়? The volume of air that can be forcibly exhaled after normal expiration is, this is your expiratory reserve volume. Okay? In tissue capillaries, oxyhemoglobin dissociates mainly because, okay, in tissue capillaries, oxyhemoglobin dissociates mainly because. Eto ki hodise jana nai? Ki hodise jana nai? To tumalokor ki question hoy eto? This question is nothing but this question is your indirectly it is about, they are asking about your oxygen dissociation curve. Tar mane ketia tumalokor kuntu factor tumalokor oxygen dissociation curve will shift towards the right. Will shift towards the right. Ki hobo eto? This will be your answer will be your high partial pressure of your carbon dioxide. Okay, high partial pressure of your carbon dioxide. Okay? Which part of the respiratory tract prevents food from entering trachea? Okay. Kuntu hoy yate? Answer? Is it your question to ki hodise? Is it tumalokor swa? We have the food pipe, okay? Food pipe, that is your esophagus, and your what? The windpipe, that is your trachea. Eta jagate lie korane almost, they lie at the same place. Then how is it that when you are taking in food, when you are ingesting something, how is it that we do not choke? How is it that we are able to swallow it without choking? Yes? Because of a structure that prevents the entry of food from our food pipe to the trachea, and that structure is your epiglottis, isn't it? It is known as your epiglottis. Okay? ঠিক আছে, larynx নহয়, larynx মানে কি? এটো তোমাৰ হেৰি হে হয়, this is your voice box, larynx হয়নে? pharynx to কি হয়? pharynx তোমালোকৰ এই nasal passage টোৰ পৰা হয় না, nasal passage থাকে, nasal passage পৰা আমাৰ হেৰি part pharynx বুলি কোৱা হয়. So this is your epiglottis. This is a flap like covering, okay? Epiglottis it is a flap like covering that covers the trachea, okay? That covers the trachea when we are swallowing food, okay? That covers the trachea when we are swallowing food, thus preventing choking, okay? So see how wonderful our body is, isn't it? How wonderful our entire body is. Yes? Okay. Tarpisot, the chloride shift during carbon dioxide transport occurs in the chloride shift. Chloride shift ki hoy? কি হবো chloride shift? Okay, solve কৰাচোন এটো, solve it. Okay, so this answer is your RBCs. Chloride shift is chloride shift during your carbon dioxide transport occurs in your RBCs. Okay, ঠিক আছে? All right. Next question, which statement regarding your surfactant is correct? Okay, which statement regarding your surfactant is correct? Okay, it increases surface tension, it prevents collapse of alveoli, it decreases oxygen diffusion, or is it it blocks gaseous exchange? Okay, so on into question ki hobo answer? কি হ'ব সলভ কৰা কি হ'ব surfactant মানে কি হয় surfactant what is the function of surfactant the main function of surfactant is to reduce what is to reduce your surface tension okay it is to reduce your surface tension okay clear so surface tension যদি reduce হয় তেতিয়া হলে কি তোমালোকৰ facilitate কৰিব কি হ'ব surface tension তোমাৰ reduce কৰিলে it will prevent your collapse of alveoli isn't it will prevent your collapse of alveoli because we know that alveolar walls they have a they have a very much larger space okay larger space for your exchange of gases right so ketiaba ki hoy ketiaba in certain conditions the surface area of the alveoli they get damaged okay just like in emphysema so ketiaba tumalokor in acute conditions using the surfactant okay using various surfactant hey surface tension tumalokor reduce koribo pari okay that means you can say it is a kind of a treatment okay and surface tension reduce hole ki hobo tumalokor alveoli collapse okay it will prevent your alveoli collapse okay clear the next the total volume of air accommodated in lungs at the end of your forced inspiration is okay ki hoy etu ki hoy etu ki hobo answer to so answer will be your total lung capacity okay answer will be your total lung capacity that means this is the total volume of air accommodated in lungs at the end of your forced inspiration thik ase okay and by by total lung capacity it means it includes all the lung volumes okay it includes all lung volumes all right okay. Then which of the following disease is caused by your inflammation of alveoli due to infection okay inflammation of alveoli due to infection ki hobo yate ki hoise yate tuma inflammation hoise thik ase inflammation but here okay they are mentioning that there is inflammation of your alveoli okay alveoli that means your air sac okay air sac these are your inflamed yes not your conducting part আমি asthma কেছত কি পাইছিলো asthma yes we have studied about asthma right asthmatic patient or কি হয় তোমালোকৰ inflammation definitely হয় কিন্তু inflammation হয় of your conducting part right that is your bronchi and bronchioles but in this case you will see inflammation of your alveoli this you are going to see in this condition is related to your pneumonia okay pneumonia ki hoy pneumonia there is an infection okay pneumococcus bacteria bacterial infection hey bacteria ki kore hey infection or followed ki hoy tumalokor alveoli gets alveoli gets inflamed thus reducing the surface area for your exchange of gases so the patient will experience many difficulty he will experience your breathing difficulty chest tightness all these are the symptoms of your pneumonia okay clear all right then okay eto ki hodise tumalokor the respiratory quotient that is RQ for carbohydrate is okay carbohydrate is respiratory quotient ki hobo tumalokor carbon dioxide produce thik ase oxygen consume is equal to your one respiratory quotient that means your oxygen consume carbon dioxide produce okay tumalokor value to hodise yate thik ase value to hodise mainly ki hobo value to এক সেকেন্ড তোমালোকৰ এইটো কোৱেশ্চন অকমান ৰং হয় ঠিক আছে না না ঠিক আছে বাৰু অপশনস ঠিক আছে ওকে সো ইগনোর দিস ওকে তাকে মই ভাবি আছিলো এই স্টেটমেন্টটো কি দিছে বাৰু প্লিজ ইগনোর দিস স্টেটমেন্ট ওকে ইগনোর দিস এটো কনফিউজ হবা বুজিলে এটো পঢ়িলে কনফিউজ হবা প্লিজ ইগনোর দিস মই তোমাক লিখি দি আছো ঠিক আছে তোমালোকক কেতে কি সুধিছে ৰেসপিৰেটৰি কোৱেশ্চন সুধিছে কি সুধিছে ফৰ ইয়োৰ কাৰ্বোহাইড্ৰেট হয়নে ফৰ কাৰ্বোহাইড্ৰেট এতিয়া ৰেসপিৰেটৰি কোৱেশ্চন মানে কি বুজা কি হয় এটো সো ৰেসপিৰেটৰি কোৱেশ্চন means your okay respiratory question means your this is nothing but this is your carbon dioxide produced okay carbon dioxide produced upon your oxygen consumed okay oxygen consumed clear so eto hoise tumalokor respiratory question ito formulae okay this is the formula or this is the equation whatever you want to call thik ase tar mane carbon dioxide produced okay upon your oxygen consumed and the value is 1 okay 1 a value to tumalokor hodai ki hoy it is always 1 so answer is your option C 1.0 means what 1.0 mane 1 a hoy hoy na 1.0 mane 1 a hoy hobo thik ase etu mon rakhiba thik ase this is important কেতিয়াবা কোৱেশ্চন দেখিবলৈ পাবা ইমান বাৰু তোমালোকক ইমান ৰিপিটেডলি নুখুধে এইখিনি কনসেপ্টৰ পৰা বাট ষ্টিল জানাটো ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট ঠিক আছে মই তোমালোকক অলৰেডি কৈছো যে কোনখিনি কনসেপ্ট বেছি ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট হয় বেছি ফোকাস দিব লাগে সেইখিনি পঢ়িবা নো ডাউট ইউ হ্যাভ টু ষ্টাডি এভৰিথিং আলটিমেটলি কিন্তু যেহেতু সো এইটো তোমালোকৰ RE-NEET বাবে পঢ়ি আছা হয় নাই তোমালোকৰ হাতত টাইম একেবাৰে কম আছে সো সিন্স ইউ আর ৰিভাইজিং I suggest you focus more on the important topics right okay all right then the inspiratory capacity is okay again okay so answer to yate already mention korai ase okay please students ekhini babe I'm really sorry common inconvenience hole answer to already mention korai ase tumalokor ki hoy again this is your what this you have to know the equation of your inspiratory capacity this is written as your IC inspiratory capacity ki hoy tumalokor answer ki hobo tidal volume okay tidal volume plus your inspiratory reserve volume so this is the correct answer thik ase this is the correct answer okay option B hoi jabo hoy na yes option B hoi jabo answer okay all right so with this your class is over yes etia a pdf tumaloke comment ot pai jaba on the description box thik ase on the description box last 10 questions ase thik ase 10 ta question tumalokor babe moi solve koribole disu tumaloke answer bor comment ot comment kori tumaloke answer bor janaba thik ase ei kintu tumalokor babe homework hoy okay and jodi tumalokor kiba doubt ase jodi thora buji poa nai ba kiba thora moi bhul koisu hoy na moiu bhul hobo paru isn't it I'm also learning I'm learning with you all because learning has no age right there is no bar to learning isn't it so you are most welcome jodi tumaloke kiba suggestion dibo khuja ase ma'am etu nohoy etu he hobo then you are please welcome comment ot janaba okay so this class is over all right next class we are going to do human reproduction okay ami human reproduction pohim thik ase because so moi jehetu koisu tumalokok ami topic wise goiso hoine important topics but tumalokor high weighted chapters ami tenike jam hobo yes human reproduction ami korim next class so till then okay go through the class tumalok questions bor swa code code tumalok bhul korisa hei jate bhul bor tumalok repeat nokora hekhini swa and this pdf okay etu pdf tumalok pai jaba okay last 10 questions that is total 60 questions I have done 50 questions here 10 question tumalokor babe homework hoy tumaloke saba question keta and answer comment ot tumaloke janaba thik ase answers bor ki hoy options janaba okay so I hope you have enjoyed this class let's meet in our next class then till then thank you everyone and bye bye okay